Yes, sir. Breaking news. Robert Mugabe has just resigned as the president of Zimbabwe. This is good news indeed. All Zimbabweans out there, we can start to celebrate. So, yes, sir, this is good news indeed for Zimbabweans, both in Zimbabwe and all over the world. We have now received good news that Mugabe has tendered his resignation, has submitted his resignation to the Speaker of Parliament. So the impeachment process has now been revoked because finally Robert Mugabe is out of office. Yes, Zimbabweans out there, this is our moment. Celebration should start now as we forge ahead. A new beginning without Robert Mugabe. So yes, it has been very traumatic indeed. And I think now Zimbabweans, we can come together as one, irrespective of political parties, opposition, civic groups, church organizations, all Zimbabweans, we can come together now. Again, it is very important that this is the first stage. The second stage of rebuilding Zimbabwe is probably the most difficult one, given that within Zimbabwe, politics in Zimbabwe was much of politics of polarization between ZANU-PF and opposition parties. So yes, that's good news, Zimbabweans, wherever you are, you can start tossing the glass of wine or champagne. Robert Mugabe has finally resigned. At least that has saved us Zimbabweans to go through the process of impeachment, which maybe would have taken so much time and anguish, given that Mugabe has been under house arrest and much of business within Zimbabwe have come to a halt. So yes, Zimbabweans, yeah, I can see a lot of people now have joined in. Evelyn, Obet, Marston, Ruth, and Juru, thanks. Hope we have a better government from now onwards. I think it is fair to say that any person who is going to come in the short term will not be as bad as Robert Mugabe. But however, we must be very cautious. In the long term, it is possible that Zimbabweans, if we are not very careful to choosing the right government, will slip back to our old problems. And I think this is the time for Zimbabweans to come up with the strategies that will usher a new beginning, a very sustained, free, fair, prosperous Zimbabwe. MDC Alliance stand ready to give Zimbabweans the prosperity and peace that they so much deserve. But I think I support the public mood and suggestions from a Zimbabwean perspective that the best foot forward for Zimbabweans would be to come up with a transitional process that will put a framework in place to make sure that we can prepare for free and fair elections that will benefit an everlasting peace and prosperity for Zimbabwe, so that all political parties will be able to contest and all stakeholders will participate in a free and fair elections. It is very important that the next elections after such a crisis should be credible, should be peaceful, and should actually bring in legitimacy in Zimbabwe so that we can start a new beginning where Zimbabwe can take its strategic position within SADC region, within Africa and also at a global note. That can only come with legitimate elections. And the legitimate elections can only come if there is a conducive environment for a peaceful campaign for all stakeholders, including access to the media. ZBC, which was then a monopoly of ZANU-PF. Yes, all Zimbabweans, I can see people have started contributing. A new dawn has arisen. Indeed, it has. And I think we have come a long way. From an MDC perspective, for the past 17 years, this is exactly what we have been calling for. We have been calling for Mugabe to resign. And we have waited for the past 17 years, indeed. We've counted casualties. The economy is melted down, and the people of Zimbabwe have suffered. I hope and trust that both mainstream parties, ZANU-PF and MDC, would realize that the issue at hand today is too big for one political party. It is a Zimbabwean solution. It's that we therefore call upon our leaders, both in MDC and ZANU-PF, to make sure that they put in place a framework to be inclusive so that all Zimbabweans can participate in a transitional process that actually confers legitimacy to the next elections. And yes, all Zimbabweans out there, this is good news. I thought I would share with you the good news. It is all in the international media. It is on BBC, it's on Al Jazeera, it's on CNN. It is indeed a confirmation that Zimbabweans have fought together to remove the dictator. And today we can celebrate that the dictator is no more. Robert Mugabe has finally given in. Robert Mugabe has finally resigned. So yes, it is dramatic, and we hope in the next few hours and few days, Zimbabweans would then put in place a framework to come up with the way forward. Now that Mugabe is gone, we need to put in place a process. Gone are the days of toxic politics. Gone are the days of ZANU-PF hounding Zimbabweans, using violence throughout the country in terms of coercing Zimbabweans. We hope that that era of toxic politics is over now, and we can start a new beginning. Yes, I can see people joining in celebration, which is good. I can see Take More, Michael, Steve, Ralph, yes, Kingston. Indeed, this is good news. In a short period, I think for the first time, I'll be drinking champagne. I can't wait to toast a glass of champagne for this good news. Yes, Zimbabweans, this is indeed worth celebrating. I'll come back again so that we can celebrate, maybe with some music. So yes, thank you very much for listening and for following the updates. I'll be coming back as preparations and plans and strategies unfold. I thank you. See you again. Goodbye.